Hey guys, it's Hannah. I feel really lame that all of my videos are in the same area, but like I've explained in one of my other videos, I can't move my computer because of the internet nonsense that goes on here. It's just too much of a hassle to plug it back in every time I need it, so it just sits on my desk. So you only ever get to see my bathroom door and my mirror. I apologize for that. One day I'll give a tour of my room. I'm here to talk today about my pet peeves. I started a list, and at first there were only like 2 on there, and I was like, oh, well, you know, that's good. That means I'm pretty tolerant of things. In the past 3 days, I've just like filled up my little post-it note. I've got like in the margins, new ones, so I'm going to talk to you about my top pet peeves. These are in no specific order either, like the first one is not my most, last one is not my most, you know, anything like that. Clocks. I've expressed before that I really like clocks. I like clocks that have Roman numerals as their numbers. But if you look at most Roman numeral clocks, you will notice that the 4 is incorrect. I guarantee I have only ever found like 1 or 2 clocks that have the correct 4 Roman numeral. And I own one of those. Most clocks put it as 4 lines, just 4 bars. It's like, doot, 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 doot. No. Anybody who knows anything about Roman numerals knows that you can't ever have more than 3 lines. A Roman numeral 4 would be a line and then a V, or I guess. I don't know what the proper terminology is for that. I don't know why clockmakers do this. It doesn't seem like it's any easier to tell that it's 4 because it's not an I and a V. Maybe to not conflict with the 6? But they're opposite? I'm not sure, but it drives me crazy whenever I see a clock like that. Another pet peeve. Second trips. What do you mean by second trips, Hannah? Let me explain. When I go grocery shopping and I pull my car into my garage or parking lot, depending where I am, like where I'm living, I am not making a second trip out to get those groceries. I will load them on my arm. I'll like stack bags so that I don't have to go back out and make a second trip. In fact, when I would get groceries at my old apartment, we lived up 4 flights of stairs. So let me tell you, my calves were amazing. And when I had to bring groceries home, I kept a blanket in my car. And I'd lay the blanket out and I'd load all my grocery bags in it. And then I'd like bunch it up like it was a sack, put it on my back like Santa Claus practically, and carry my groceries up so I didn't have to go back and forth more than one time. Also, if you forget something at the grocery store, too bad, man. I'll get it next time I go, but I am not making a second trip back to that grocery store. Second trips, not good. Another pet peeve. Interrupting. If I'm trying to tell you something, unless someone is dying or about to die, you know, let me finish what I'm saying. You might have a good idea. It's great. Write it down so you don't forget. But I'm talking. I listen when you talk. In fact, this has frustrated me so much that I've actually gotten into the habit at sometimes when I still lived with my parents at dinner time, I would raise my hand so that I could talk because I didn't want to interrupt people because my family used to do it to me all the time. And I've gotten to the point now that if you interrupt me, I just don't continue my story. It obviously you didn't want to hear it the first time, so I'm not going to tell it a second. Alright. This one is probably kind of silly, but whoever I marry has to follow this rule. It has to do with peanut butter and jelly. I'm not a big fan of sandwiches, I just don't like them. I'll eat it separate like the bread, the meat, the cheese, but I do love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. However, despite the fact that I only ever eat peanut butter with jelly or jelly with peanut butter, I don't like jelly in my peanut butter and I don't like peanut butter in my jelly. When you are making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my kitchen, you A, use a different knife for the peanut butter and the jelly, or B, wash that knife before transferring it from the peanut butter to the jelly. A little side note, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are best made when there is slightly more jelly on the sandwich than peanut butter. Just my opinion. Something else that drives me absolutely crazy, which I'm sure actually probably gets on a lot of people's nerves, is when someone is talking about something that they don't know. They don't know anything. They're oblivious to the fact that they don't know about it too. This happens a lot in politics. People will be arguing a side or discussing something, and nobody really knows what they're talking about. Sometimes both sides don't know what they're talking about. I don't really follow politics. It frustrates me too much, so I don't talk about politics with people because I know that I know nothing about it. This happens with religion a lot too. When people start bashing on other people's religions, I'm like, it's just no. One of my favorite quotes, religion is like a penis. It's fine to have one. It's fine to be proud of it. But please don't whip it out in public. And please don't shove it down my children's throats. This is a YouTube pet peeve. I don't know if it's just me because I don't seem to notice it on anybody else's videos, but I feel like YouTube picks the most awkward stills for me to choose as the front of my video. You know, like I'll stand like this, and I swear YouTube is like, you have 3 options. You can either be, or it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. I don't even know how they pick those. Sometimes it'll be like one in the middle of my video. Pet peeve number, God knows which one. This is kind of longer than I expected. I apologize, but I'm kind of angry right now. When someone doesn't get back to you, say you've called, left a message, or texted, even email, message online somehow, especially if you ask them a question. Worst is when you're waiting for someone, and you need to find out if you should just go ahead and do whatever you're going to do without them, and they just don't get back to you. You're like, well, do I wait? I understand if you're busy at the time that I contacted you. I understand if, you know, you're sleeping, something. Please tell me the next day or whenever you happen to get my text or email. But when it's been like weeks, well, I don't know if I've had weeks because normally at that point I just badger you again. But when it's been a couple days and say I asked you a question, I like an answer. Okay, the last pet peeve I'm gonna do has to do with the ukulele. You guys who watch my channel and other videos know that I do play the ukulele, and I love my ukulele to death. This is Kala. He is slightly larger than most ukuleles. He's a concert ukulele, but I feel it gives me better range. But the pet peeve with ukuleles is those like physically impossible chords. I don't know whose fingers can do that. Mine cannot, unless I I don't know, chop a finger off and install it down here or something. It's just not gonna work. It took me a long time to get the E chord, and now that I've mastered that, I'm like, it is possible. But I'm working on an A flat. Even transferring from any chord, just doing it separately, I don't know. I feel like I need to dislocate my wrist. So that's a pet peeve of mine with the ukulele. I like to be able to play songs that I can actually physically play on the ukulele. Well, that ends my rant of my pet peeves. I have to admit, I'm really excited and surprised at the attention that some of my ukulele videos have gotten, especially considering that, I don't know, my voice is not my favorite voice in the whole world, but I love to sing, so it doesn't stop me. And so I appreciate all you guys who view my stuff. I'll let you know that I have a special surprise coming soon, so keep looking for it. Alright, have a good day. Bye.